everyone. This is Brian Schwartz from the Central Coast Writers Conference. I'm back for a session preview. Juan Luzuriaga. Juan Luzuriaga.
Yeah,
Close.
Luzuriaga, that's right. Yeah, it's an easy
Luzuriaga. All
one.
right. Juan is joining us from Cambria, California. He's going to be teaching a poetry workshop entitled Sacred Ink, Healing Trauma Through Transformative Writing. Sorry, you guys, it's Monday morning. I'm a little tired still, but Juan's going to give us a quick overview of what he's going to be teaching so you can make the determination, is this the right session for you to attend? So with that, Juan, why don't you take it away?
Hello, everyone. My name is Juan Luzuriaga, and I am originally from Guayaquil, Ecuador. And I moved here to the US. So this workshop is going to be based on, a lot of different things, but based on experience of trauma, right? That's going to be the main subject, and how to transform trauma, how to heal trauma through writing, how to explore trauma. So we're going to be sharing about these type of situations and experiences that we've all had, and then go into some prompts, into some writing aspects that can help explore and heal these areas of our lives. Now, I explore generational trauma, but there's a lot of different, forms that we can also use. So mine have been, my ancestors, my ancestors, and just keep going back as far as I can. I am both I have Incan and I also have Basque, right? So I have the conquerors and the conquered both in the same body. So it's one of the things that I talk about and honor both sides and try to figure out how to make friends with both of these parties. So yeah, so the readings, I'm gonna be reading some of the poems from my upcoming book on that's forthcoming on Blue Light Press, and then essentially, everybody gets a chance to say something short, maybe read something that they have written, but the prompts and everything will give you some more tools and some things that can help you navigate that experience.
Juan, what would be the ideal attendee for your session? Like in your mind, what's the persona? Who would that person look like?
If you are interested in the past history of your family, if you're interested in your ancestry, if you have a spiritual connection, or if you're looking for a spiritual connection with your family, the past, where you've landed as far as, could be religion, culture, could be any aspect of your family or your experience as a human being, and you're interested and curious about that, this is for you.
Could you call this session writing is therapy as your
Mm,
therapist? I mean, do you see that? I mean, I often, that's when I'm writing, I'm just working through issues myself. And I know a lot of people, I don't plan to share a lot of what I write, but it allows me to kind of reflect and process and maybe distance myself from what happened and how I'm experiencing life.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a therapeutic aspect to writing, 100%. That there's no question about it. But writing is so much more than that. It's
Mm.
like it's like an ocean. So it's like, how do we describe the ocean without bringing the whole ocean over and bringing it? So it's writing can be, where your focus goes, right? Where your intention and your focus, whatever that goes, then that amplifies. So, writing is there to become whatever, it can be a friend, it can be a lover, it can be a therapy, it can be so many different things. But we are going to be focused on that kind of therapeutic aspect that is naturally occurring. So we're not going to say, "Hey, this is therapy," but like as you're writing, it just becomes therapy de facto.
So I imagine if I was a songwriter, aspiring songwriter, poetry, the lyrical sense, like every single word is packed with punch. I imagine that that's also maybe an ideal attendee as someone who's curious in the songwriting side of things.
Yeah, definitely. Songwriting is one of those things that can very much use the help of poetry, or, like that kind of packing as much as you can in a very short space, and really focusing on, did I deliver the most with the least amount of words, and that type of situation. And also can have a rhythm, it can have a particular, meter that is something that's enjoyable, that can be song, or it could be poem, or both, so.
Lyrical writing. And What are some of the key takeaways that attendees can expect to walk away from your workshop with?
So you can definitely walk away with more tools in your tool belt. You can definitely have you're going to be walking away with more tools and also more ways or more perspectives, because that's kind of the thing about sharing with everybody. I have a limited amount of perspectives, but everybody will share something, and then you'll see how that becomes really the power. The power is in the community and that connection with other people, other people's perspectives, their experiences, and that really is what enriches us. So walking away from that, you'll have different ideas of how to navigate. Sometimes we think that we're going really deep into something, but we will really revise to see how deep you actually are going. Most of the times we just brush into it just a tiny bit, just because it's really difficult to go into your own trauma, your own negative experience, or whatever it is, and we just want to touch it up. We're gonna go to the bottom of the ocean. So, and
We
then you'll learn how to deal with whatever emotions come in the way.
Okay, and since I got you, and then you won't need to use time for this during your session. But tell me a little bit about the Rough Riders in Cambria that you're a member of. You talked to me about you kind of follow the Iowa Writers Group as a template.
Yeah, so the Rough Riders is a group in Cambria. It's wonderful, very warm people. Everybody's very encouraging. Most people are working on novels. I'm one of the few that reads poetry, but they're extremely helpful. And again, like I said, very warm group. And we do Iowa Writers Workshop style. So essentially, you read your poem, or you read your chapter or your piece or whatever it is, and then everybody gives you feedback, and then you can ask questions if you want to, and then moves on to the next person. And any workshop like this is extremely valuable because we're caught up in our own perspectives and our own vision. So we think, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense, and then you read it, and then everybody's like, what is this about? Oh wow, okay, I thought this made sense, and now you find out. So
Yeah, so it sounds like you kind of do the beta reader piece before you even send out a manuscript to beta readers. You're doing that sort of alpha reader piece, right? That's essential because I think you got to get out of your own bubble. It makes sense to you, but there's other things going on in your head that that others can't hear or see, right? So you have to
yeah.
reveal that. And I do think it allows you to expose and share what you're writing. Is it landing with people? I was in a critique group for 5 years, and I remember one piece I wrote like really impacted my group.
Uh-huh.
And that was one I want to go back and actually publish and do something with it because I just remember that it was the topic of discussion. And one of the critique group members was specifically just so impacted by it that she kept coming back around even after the session. And that to me, it didn't seem when I wrote it that it was such a like insightful piece, but
Uh-huh.
I could tell the reaction that it had created. So I imagine the same thing that attendees will get from sharing some of, if they come to the workshop, they should bring some poetry. Is that a fair assessment? Or are you going to be giving them time to write poetry during the workshop?
Yeah, we're all gonna have time to write something brief, and they're also gonna walk away with some prompts and things that they can use. But the main thing is, as you mentioned, like sometimes when we're sitting too close to the piece that we're doing, whether it's painting, artwork, anything, you're too close. Sometimes you don't know, so you might just write something and be like, "Is this anything?" And then you step back, and if you're not sure at the beginning, starting a process, we're always in a very, fragile state at the beginning. So then you need a little bit more encouragement. So then you bring it up and people are like, yeah, this is awesome. And then you're like, oh, yeah, it is awesome. And then you can, go into that. So, again, this is extremely valuable. And anybody that reads and brings something, if you have some piece of poetry, if you have something that involves trauma or ancestry or generations, kind of something that's going on, definitely bring it, and then we'll talk about other ways of exploring it, or we'll just kind of mention whatever is relevant towards that as far. But again, this is a writing workshop, so we do have that aspect of as much as this becomes therapy, it is about writing. And then writing will take care of the therapeutic aspect once you're in it. So it's like, it's kind of like, why do you ride a bicycle? And it's like, because I like to have fun. But then you also get exercise, you know, so it's kind of like that.
Awesome. All right, Juan. Well, we look forward to seeing you on Saturday, October 5th. For those of you who haven't registered yet, please do so. Head over to centralcoastwritersconference.com. Juan will be one of our 25 speakers in attendance. He'll also be available during lunch hour. There's going to be a poetry table that you can sit down and ask Juan more questions. So in the case you miss his workshop or you attended his workshop and have more questions for him, he'll be available for Q&A. Thank you, Juan, and appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.